stored, right, in neural networks, essentially. And there are so many different kinds of neural networks. The latest that we are now talking about, ChatGPT and all the rest, are basically what we call transformers, which is a special type of neural network that has become really good and really widespread in solving problems. And then that is topped up with the second last GANs, right? Now, how can AI help us in DevOps? That's a question. One of the things that AI does very well is it is very good when you have a whole lot of data and a whole lot of information. There are so few of us in this room, very few of us who can consume a large amount of data. But AI does that really well. And not only does it consume a large amount of data, but it also is able to learn from that data and make predictions. That's one very important thing, and that's really what is making the waves around. Because in the world today, in tech, in the world of technology, there is a whole lot of data that hits us on a daily basis. Now, the second thing is that in DevOps, you have core principles, right? Collaboration, automation, and continuous improvement. The key one there is automation. And machine learning helps us to automate a lot of things in DevOps because it can pick up a lot of information, and from the information it picks up, it learns from it, and then it helps to improve what we call the pipeline, right? The pipeline I showed earlier on, where you plan, code, build, test, release, deploy, operate, and monitor. So on the first for the dev side of DevOps, which is planning, coding, building, and testing, you now have where we can apply machine learning. First of all, when you are planning, you use the data that you have gathered around your services, around your servers, and all of that, and you come up with improved ideas of how to make your software better, how to make your service and your app better, right? So, for example, things like recommendations. You don't even, sometimes you do what we call user studies, right? You ask users to check your software, try it out, and give you feedback, right? But you could actually also do that with machine learning because you have a lot of data that users are already churning out on a daily basis as they visit your site. You pull all of that data together, and the machine learning or the AI software or agent can tell you, okay, these are the things that I have seen and I think you could do to improve your software. Then in coding, again, how many of us have used, how many of you have heard of GitHub Copilot, right? How many of you have used it? ChatGPT, right? What are those things? Those are tools that do what? That help you to write code better. In fact, it's easier to code now than when I started how many years ago, because I can actually go to ChatGPT and ask for something in Python or C++ or any language. I need to give you the code. Sometimes it won't work. In fact, most times it won't work, right? But at least you can start from there. Then you plug it in, you run it, you debug it, and all of that, okay? So this becomes very powerful tool for us, and a lot of people are using it already, right? And coding is really part of the DevOps pipeline. Code completion, code linting, code analysis. So there are tools that will even do what we call a static analysis on your code, right? And those tools are built around AI as well. Then in the build process, you even have AI that can look at optimizing your build process to build faster. Because in DevOps now, there's the whole, what we call CI/CD, continuous integration, continuous delivery, continuous deployment, right? Where you are continuously improving the code. And in that situation, in that context, you always look for how to speed up your build process. AI can help with that as well. Then we have testing. So how many of us write tests? Do you write test coverage for your code? Do you like writing test coverage? Most people don't like, nobody, in fact, nobody likes writing test coverage for code. So this is one place where AI becomes very useful, because what some of the big players are doing now is building AI that can look at your code and generate
In fact, one of the things I need you to do now so that you don't get to that point and you're like, I missed out on that gift, because we're going to give another wonderful round of gifts that everybody will be excited. You can go to your Play Store or your App Store and search for Noun. What do they call it again? What's the name again? Nouns Hot. Great. Nouns Hot. Nouns, then Hot. HUNT. I get it right? So search for Nouns Hot now and download it handy. I will pull up that game any moment. Anytime I come up on stage, just expect that may be the next thing we are going to be doing. But again, let's move away from that and come back to knowledge. We have always had the challenge around products, where people focus more of their attention on the developer, maybe either a mobile developer or a web developer, but then the attention is never, or the pressure is never actually tilted to the realities on ground, which is more emphasis on how the product design or the product process actually happens. And someone is going to be talking to us about how we can integrate these processes in developing the product in such a way that it is not only meeting the technical requirement, but also meeting the user requirement. And to deal with that, we're going to be discussing on the path to design ops. And the person to deal with that is, I think I love the name that of our founder of a startup, Genius Nimbe. I don't know what that means, but Genius Nimbo. That makes a lot of sense to me, even though I don't know what it is. But I'm definitely going to visit my. What do they call that thing they used to finding meanings again? What do they call it again? Dictionary. See, now I forget for stage. God, when? All right, so ladies and gentlemen. So to talk to us about that is a design thinking strategist, a product manager, and an innovator who have helped a lot of brands and businesses begin and appreciate the benefit of using design thinking to aid their design processes. She started her tech journey in 2019 as a web developer and a web tutor, and then has helped over collectively 700 people to get started in tech as well. So it's not her just starting, she has also helped over 700 people to also join her in tech. With a main shift from front-end web development, she has experience using front-end and web technologies to create interfaces that provide web-based solutions. As a project manager who uses design thinking, she is advancing to build better solutions that become functional for specific users and adapted research to make development easier. She's passionate about helping young ones become tech savvy, as she volunteers regularly for events and programs that are driven to this cause. She currently serves as an ambassador at Women Tech Makers and a leader for Women Tech Makers ABBA. She is a team player and is a very collaborative in working with like minds to build solutions to problems and using technology. Ladies and gentlemen, can we put our hands together this time as we make welcome Kando Dennis. Keep celebrating her until she makes her way here. Kando Dennis is going to be taking us on the path to design ops. You're welcome. She's approaching me and you're not clapping. I wonder why. You're welcome, Kando.
Thank you. No. All right. Hello, everyone. It's quite a large crowd. I've been used to virtual events probably because of COVID and all of that. So it's been a while since I stood in a place this large. Okay. Hello again. All right. So just before my slide comes up. Okay, so just before my slide comes up, I want to believe that just as there are developers here, there are also designers, right? So let's do a quick poll. Developers versus designers. Which is better? Which do you think is better? Rep your stack. Developers versus designers. We are not going to fight. I don't want us to fight, but just, oh, only one person is speaking, and he's probably a developer. Okay. I would have loved to ask why you're choosing developers over designers, or why you're choosing designers over developers. You said it's not all about what? Okay. So why that comes up, I know I've asked the developers versus designers question. Now, in many organizations, in many, yes, in many brands, in many organizations, how good is the relationship between those who are developers and those who are designers? On a scale of 1 to 10, how good is the relationship? What? 0.5. Wow, that's very bad. If you're a developer and you have a good relationship with the designers, just raise your hand. Okay, what about those designers who use complex mock-ups and illustrations and expect developers to deliver in 10 working days? Okay. I see the whole, so this is just the basis of, oh yeah, developer issues, huh? Do I need to wait? Okay. Okay, I think we're getting there. All right, so let's just skip the whole quarrel. Okay, let's keep the whole quarrel between developers and designers and just move on to what's important. Okay, so we have somehow seen the disparity between those who are developers and those who are designers, and why there is that disparity. There is no collaboration, there is no teamwork, and everyone just wants to do something because they feel it is what's important. The designers feel this illustration has to be there, this graphics needs to be there. The developer doesn't feel that way. Or probably the designer, yes, of course, delivers something right, and then the developer doesn't have the right tools to do that. So we are going to go over the whole development and design process and to see how we can bridge that gap and create core design operations. But first, introductions. My name is Dennis Kandor. I'm a product and program manager. So for products, I work with Bcamp, and we are focused on providing resources, courses for those in the DevRel space. And then for Genius Nimble, I'm a program manager. I manage their tech sales course, students, staff, all of that directed towards tech sales. Aside that as well, I'm a design thinking enthusiast, which means I love to use design thinking to help brands and businesses to improve their processes and to make their products scale. Okay, so let's talk about the basic foundation. Right, the digital product space. So everybody is building something. Oh, sorry. Everybody is building something for somebody. There are so many products, so many tools that are being shipped out. People wake up with ideas in their head and they want to build those things. They would call their next neighbor, who is probably a developer or a designer. They will have a 30-minute Google Meet meeting and they suddenly just cook up that idea. And the next thing is on Twitter. And the next thing they put it on Product Hunt, probably. And they've shipped out the product. That's it. But then what is the basic foundation of the entire product development process? Now, most people say that a great design equates a great product. Who agrees? I see less hands. People are not confident. A great design equates a great product. Who agrees? I will counter that. A great design without core design principles does not make a great product. Because you have to go through the normal design process. Now, in my defense, a design process is the design process is not just about UI and social graphics. It's about a well thought out plan that involves teams who are constantly brainstorming and generating mind-blowing ideas. Now, I did talk about being a design thinking enthusiast. Sometime throughout last year, I had to organize 45-minute sessions for interested startups and brands who want to improve their processes. And one thing I noticed among all of those is that they are more focused on building. They just want to make that solution. They just want to push it out. But they do not really understand what the design process involves. Now, because they do not follow that process, so much more blame is put on developers or the designers, on those who are somehow the builders. So much more blame is put on them. So maybe when I ask them, just describe the user flow or the user experience of your product. Sometimes it can be an app or a web page. And I do not ask the CEO or the team lead. I ask the other team members. And on a scale of 1 to 10, they don't even understand what it is. They don't. But they are just buying into that vision because that person, is leading them on. We're going to make $5,000 by the end of the quarter. We're going to have 10 million users by the end of the quarter. And they buy into that vision. But they do not understand what the solution is or what the product is. But then, how do we create a mind shift from just product development to core design ops? Please take it back. It's not supposed to. Okay. So let's talk about what design ops is first. And there are 3 key things that come in mind. First, it is human-centered. It is aimed at building strong design teams. And it supports development and organizational structure. Now, back to my experience about startup teams who do not clearly understand design process. After dissecting the product that they have in mind, we then take time to properly understand their business strategy, to understand the core focus, to understand the users that they want. And then we go ahead to rebuilding the product again, and then they ship it, and they meet the right users that they want. Now, in a nutshell, design operations is a human-centered approach to building strong design teams that support development and organizational structure. It's all about creating a work culture that enables everyone to collaborate, that enables everyone to build together, to not just leave it for one person. Now that we understand what design ops is, we've gone through the entire product development components, we've talked about how you can build design ops culture. There are also challenges that are tied to design ops. And the challenges of design ops are tied to success measurement and sustainability. So we've talked about how to measure success. Now for sustainability, it's about setting up proper documentation for those who are likely going to join the team. And so there has to be a proper laid down rules. If you're using, for me as a product manager, I get to use Kanban boards or Trello to make sure that I list out different tasks for different people. And even if someone who is joining the team, as long as they see that, they see the process, they see what has been done, and then it enables them to think forward and to be able to also have that same culture in whatever they're doing. These are the two challenges that you need to face. Okay, now how can you build the proper design ops culture for you? The truth is that for you to build design ops culture, it starts with you. Whether you are the team lead or whether you are just a team member, or if you're just someone who warms the chair but you're still part of the team, it begins with you. And it begins with understanding what empathy is and how to apply that in every process that you do in the entire product development guide. So now that we've understood what design ops is now, how then can you build design ops for the future? The truth is that if you understand how to build a collaborative environment now, if you understand how to make it work for you now, if you build a healthy work culture, it is just an evolution of what already exists. The future of design ops is an evolution of what exists now. So there will be emerging technologies, there will be new tools, there will be new processes that come up. But if you're able to understand how to use those emerging technologies, but still apply the design ops culture in them, then you have evolved. Then you're building for the future. Okay, I think that's it. Thank you very much, and I'll take questions now.
Okay, did we enjoy the session? And has this fight between developers and designers resolved? Oh, she didn't resolve it? All right, so I think that comes back to me. By the power vested on me as the MC and moderator of Devfest Port Harcourt 2023, I think that both developers and designers are better than each other. So there's peace now, right? Okay. All right, so that said, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go into something a little different from the speeches. I promise that we're going to have sessions where we're going to have some people come speak to us, and at the same time, we're going to take the first panel, and after the panel, we're going to come back. Don't worry, there's a lot in stock. So we're going to take the first panel, and I have amazing panelists already seated, and they're ready to go. And so I am not going to lead the first panel, but someone who is in the space of DevOps learning space and community. And so Deborah is going to be leading that part. She is going to be leading, a very beautiful woman. And please, while listening to her, there are three things that is going to distract you. First, her beauty is going to distract you. Whether you identify as a male or female, her voice might sound like music. So, but please, you need to listen very well so that you can hear what she's saying. And then I won't tell you the other one that is going to distract you. I'll tell you after she's gone. So please be careful not to let those distractions happen, but listen to what she is bringing to the table. So she is a developer advocate, a technical writer, a women tech maker ambassador, an AWS community builder, and the founder of DevOps Learning Space, a community here in Port Harcourt. Please, can we put our hands together as we make welcome Deborah Emeni, the founder of DevOps Learning Space community, as she makes her way upstage. And one is wondering where she's coming from. Okay, now you now know why I said what I said. No, Ron, calm down. Can't walk. It's your day. This space is yours. If you decide to come here and greet us and everybody goes home, that's fine with me. And so she's going to be bringing up the speakers, or rather the panelists. So I don't have that power. She has that. Please celebrate her once again. Who is in charge of photographs? Please take this photograph. It's very important to me. What I'm going to say here after now might get me single before I get home.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that. Oh my God. Okay, so I would love to call on the panelists because of time. Please, can we have Dr. Linda Ogane Caro? There's a lovely seat for you here, Ma. Please just make yourself comfortable. Not doctor, Mr. Kenneth Nwokoro. Please, sir, can we have you up on stage? Mr. Anyebet. I don't know if I pronounced your surname correctly, but pardon me. Mr. Anyebet Udo. Please, can we have you up on stage as well? I don't know if Mr. Bruce Lucas is around. Please, if you're around, please, can we also have you up on stage? Yes. Okay, so I'm going to be joining them as well because I don't want to be standing while they're sitting. Yeah. Oh, okay, so while we're sitting comfortable because we're going to have like a discussion. I'm not here to give you a speech. We're not here to give you a speech. We're actually here to like discuss with the audience. So it's an open talk, open conversation rather. So I'm going to be engaging a lot with the audience. You guys are looking so beautiful. Like everybody's eyes is on me. I'm like, wow. All right, so without further ado, I'll get right into it. So why we're here today, okay, so everybody has been talking about AI. AI is like the current trend in tech, right? Am I right? Does anyone agree with me? Like everybody's talking about AI, right? And most people don't really know how it affects them in their career because we all cannot be doing AI, right? Well, we have developers here in the house. Developers in the house, let me see you wave. Oh, Paul, okay. So we have developers in the house, we have designers, we have PMs, we have a lot of stacks here, right? And we have people that are interested in joining variety of fields in tech, right? So not everyone will be AI, not everyone will be into AI, right? So how does AI affect us? How does it affect our career development? That's what we're here to talk about today. And with the amazing panelists I have with me today, they were already introduced. I'm not going to like do another introduction, quite all right, but I'm just going to go right into it. So I have a question for you. Like I said, it's going to be an open discussion. I have a question for you, the audience. So I don't know if you've heard about this statement that AI is coming to take our jobs. AI has come to replace our jobs. Has anyone heard that before? I can't hear you. Have you heard it before? Because I want to know if I'm speaking to human beings, not robots. Have you heard that statement before? Let me just see you wave. Interesting. So I'm not the only one that's heard it. I think I even put out a post on LinkedIn, I think it was a week ago, about looking for a full-time job and something like that. And then someone commented and I was like, he commented a very discouraging comment. He was like, I should not bother because AI has already taken over that field. I'm like, so you understand? So we're here so I don't know what you guys, so do you think that AI has come to take our jobs? If you think that way, can you wave? Please be very honest. Nobody's going to beat anybody. Do you think AI is coming to take your job? As a technical writer, as a developer, has AI come to take your job? Are you going to lose your job if your boss finds out that he can use AI to replace you? Let me see you wave. I want to Okay, fine. So we're here to debunk that, right? So we have amazing panelists that actually have a lot of experience, and they can throw more light on that. So to you, Mrs. Oganekaro, she's actually my senior lecturer. I'm actually a product of Mrs. Oganekaro. Please, can someone clap for her? Like she's just an amazing woman, yeah. And she has so much experience. She's an inspiration to all Unipos students, all computer science Unipos students. So, Ms. Oganekaro, what do you think about this question I just asked the audience? Has AI come to replace our jobs, or is AI replacing our jobs?
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, from my own perspective, AI hasn't come to replace our jobs, but it has come to make us more productive. Most of us are maybe involved in a lot of iterative jobs, repetitive jobs. So some of these things, AI can fit into those job roles perfectly, and then we use that time to be more productive in terms of decision making and creative thinking. Thank you.
Oh, can you hear me? Okay, yeah. So you see why I said she's just an amazing woman. Like I was like, wow, okay. So let's hear from another person. Sir, would you like to answer that?
Sure.
Yeah.
So I did say it in my speech that yes, they say AI is going to take people's jobs, but the World Economic Forum actually came out to say yes, the AIs will take jobs, but it will create more jobs. And I added the caveat that...
Okay, so can you take the mic to your... Yeah, so
okay.
that everyone
can
hear
you. So I
you.
added the caveat that for your job not to be taken, you need to upskill. And interestingly, I mean, Anebe talked about how he ran codes, on Python. Was it Python? When you're doing the test, your conversation about testing and those sort of things. You can't do it if you don't know it. You can't grab a ChatGPT, for example, and say, write me a code in so and so, and it spills out the code and you're able to use it. You can't. It's only if you know it, that's when you can be able to use it. So you cannot take away the human intelligence away from artificial intelligence, because human intelligence is what builds artificial intelligence, by the way.
Word. Yes. I really agree with what he said. Mr. Kenneth Nwokoro, am I right? Yes, I really agree with what he said about human intelligence. How many of you agree with that? Right, cool. So, yeah. So, sir, on to you. What do you think about it?
Okay, so my thoughts are this. Yes and no. Artificial intelligence will take some jobs. In fact, a lot of jobs. That's the truth. You will have to accept it. But, and it's going to be progressive. It's not like one day all of a sudden everybody will lose their job, right? It's going to be gradual. It's going to take time. But the thing is, like Kenneth has just said, the human intelligence is actually superior in most things, not in everything. Because in some things now, artificial intelligence has surpassed human beings, like in games like chess and some other things like that, right? But in the ability to think and rationalize, humans are still way ahead. So the only time you personally will allow, if you allow yourself, that's when you'll be overtaken by artificial intelligence, right? As long as you skill up. So the thing is, you need to figure out what is the next skill set that I need to upskill to. You can't stay, the issue is you can't stay where you are now. Otherwise, AI will catch you. You need to find the jobs that AI is getting in, but you need to improve yourself. But secondly, like the ChatGPT conversation, if you are smart, you now turn AI to your ally rather than your enemy. This is the key that everybody needs to know. And that's a very good example, right? You can't go and have ChatGPT write code for you and it runs. It will fail. It will have, but it hasn't yet. Maybe one day it might reach that level, but for today, that's why I say it's gradual. So you, as a developer or as a designer, in fact, these days you have AI that can even do designs on Figma. Designers, do you guys know about that? How many people know about that? It can generate designs on Figma, but it won't be as good as a human being, no matter what. Even the technical writing that ChatGPT does now, it won't be as good as a human being. So the human input is always there. Remember that all of this ChatGPT and stuff is based on data over so many years. And that data is what? Is human origin. So without any additional data, that AI, all of that AI will not get better than humans. So the secret is, one, stay ahead of the AI. Two, turn the AI into your ally to make you better in whatever you are doing.
Wow. I see you clapping, so I'm assuming you agree with what he said. So based on what you all said, you talked about upskilling, right? So instead of you worrying about AI taking your jobs, you can actually upskill. So how do you think, based on your, I know you all work in different fields. So starting with you, Mrs. Ogane Caro, I know you work in the fields of machine learning, cybersecurity, if I'm correct. So please, could you tell us, based on, I know there's some, okay, are you into machine learning? If you're into machine learning, let me see you wave. Are you into machine learning? Okay, we have some person into machine learning. How about cybersecurity? Okay, we have some person. So, Ma, please, can you share your experience based on your expertise level? How can someone into cybersecurity upskill in terms of using AI? This we're actually discussing career development. So, Ma, how can you share your experience?
Okay. I'll start from machine learning. Machine learning, you work with a lot of data sets, very heavy data sets. So having AI analyze this data in, very short time, it helps us to now, pay more attention to, okay, the existing functions, how do we make good use of it? Because in terms of analysis, just a simple Python function can help you visualize, show you some correlations between these features. So being able to now understand what it's giving back to you as the output. Okay, what does this tell me, or what questions does it answer to? What kind of predictions can this make? So we are now looking at leaving that part of analyzing data, and now looking at these algorithms, like Aniebet talked about, a whole lot of algorithms from deep learning to normal machine learning algorithms. Okay, how are their parameters? How can I make this more efficient? Is there an intelligent agent within? So these are the questions you now ask yourself. Okay, like Kenneth also mentioned about drawing out artificial intelligence from human intelligence. So that human intelligence must be in place first. So it helps us to now channel our energies doing more of creativity than just keep running same thing. So we can grow our skills on that. But before we grow our skills on that, I know we have a lot of young persons here. You have to start from the point of understanding data analysis in the first place before we look at the algorithms that drive them. Thank you.
Thank you, Ma. Thank you, Ma, for that. How do you think we can understand data analysis? Because when you said data analysis, some persons don't even understand how they can go about learning. Do they have to go into the field of being a data analyst, or do you just read up about it?
There are many ways. Now, education has gone beyond the four walls of the class. So, first of all, you need to appreciate data around you. We all use data every moment. From when we woke up, checking the time, checking how much do I need to get here. They are all data, as long as they are quantities. So, by the time you appreciate it, how can I use data to solve problems? Just some questions that can trigger interest. And then, by being here is a very good step, because everything about computing is all about communities, collaborating, interaction. So once you're able to identify your interest, that I'm interested in, applying myself using data, we have 1,001 opportunities there. We have a lot of online MOC courses, and for instance, we have young persons, like we saw a 9-year-old child here talking about, doing graphics with Python. So it means that the interest is there, and then she connects with the opportunity. I think that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Ma, for that. I'll move on to Mr. Kenneth. I keep saying doctor. Are you sure you're not become a doctor? Because
I am.
Okay, sir. So as the CEO of Spital Labs, how can you answer that same question of using AI in your field? How can someone actually use AI to... So what do you do, if I may ask?
Okay, so I work for a tech facility.
So can you...
Yeah, so I work for a tech facility where we train people in emerging tech skills, as well as we also are into product development.
Okay.
And then we provide advisory support services to startups.
Okay.
So there's quite a whole lot of things that you can do with artificial intelligence.
Okay.
But just like she said, it starts from you realizing that the data sets that you generate, you need to be conscious of that, and you need to be able to use them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So being able to, so for me, it starts first with intentions.
Okay.
If you're not intentional about a thing, you will not even go any further just beyond your nose.
Okay.
Dr. Miles Morrow of blessed memory said that when he proposed of a